Hey everyone, today we are diving into this episode where we will see how to manage users and groups in Entra ID, used to be called Azure Active Directory. We'll cover how to create and manage users, set up user groups, and also how to use RBAC to handle your users or even external users. So let's jump right in. Creating and managing users in Azure Entra ID. Well, the first topic is creating users. Well, for this, you can use Azure Portal, PowerShell, or even Azure CLI, where you can use bash commands to create a user. There are multiple ways. Now, you can create user individually, or you can also upload them in a bulk operation using CSV files. So individual creation or bulk creation, both are possible. And the template for the CSV file is also provided by Azure. Then you will assign a username, and you can also assign a role during the setup process only. Now, how to manage that user? Well, for that you can create groups. Here you can organize user into user groups for a very streamlined management and access control as well, where instead of applying roles to the user, you apply it on the security group. You take care of the group, and the users are only assigned or removed from the group. Well, we already talked about assigning the role. You can still use the same concept of RBAC to grant a specific privilege like read, write, delete, full control, let's say contributor, or maybe owner to the group. All the users inside that group will inherit that privilege. Then, self-service password reset to manage your users. Well, this service is very simple to apply, but it will allow your user to reset their own password securely. Now your help desk team can actually focus on some important work. Let's move to the next concept, that is user authentication. Well, for a robust authentication, you can enable MFA. That is multi-factor authentication. By the way, Azure want every organization to actually use MFA, like by default. Now, you can also set up password policies and use conditional access to control the sign-ins, where password policies will make sure that your users cannot use a very weak password like a QWERTY or 1234. No. Or the company's name. They cannot use it. And with conditional access, you can make sure that the user cannot even access the resource if the conditions are not safe. The next topic is user lifecycle management. Well, for that, you can use Azure AD Connect. Now the name is Entra Connect V2 version 2. So instead of saying AD, you can call it Entra now. So why do you need to use this software or agent? Well, with this, you can sync with on-premises directories. And you can sync the UPNs, user principal names, their password hashes if you want, and all the custom groups from on-prem to Azure. Yes, in the advanced methodology, from Azure to on-prem sync is also possible using some other services. You can also automate the provisioning and deactivation based on business need. You can do that. For that, you may need to create some automation policies using Azure Function and Automation Account, but can be done. Using groups for RBAC. Well, RBAC is already clear. That means role-based access control. So now we can focus on group creation. Well, if you want to use RBAC with a group, you can create a security group to organize users by role, department, or any other attribute. This can be done manually, where you create a group and you assign user manually, or you can also use dynamic assignment. That also works in Azure. Then you focus on assigning the roles. You can use groups to assign RBAC roles, defining the privilege or the permission for Azure resource or resources. All the users inside that group will get those roles or privilege inherited. Now, you can apply roles to the entire group, simplifying the management when users join or leave that group. So this is already discussed. Now let's discuss access control. Well, you can actually link your Entra ID groups to RBAC policies to ensure authorized access. Enforcing the policy or the principle of least privilege. This actually gives user only the access they need. So the same logic, you just use group for the advantage of grouping multiple users together. Now, how about managing external user, B2B configuration or B2C, business to business, business to consumer? Let's start with business to business. Here you can use Azure Entra ID business to business to collaborate securely with external organizations. Yes, it can be a different organization altogether, or maybe a sub-brand of the same organization. They might be handling a separate tenant. Here, you can invite external user while they use their own credentials offered by their own tenant. You can also apply conditional access and RBAC to that external identity to control even their access over your resources. So even though their UPN is coming from a different tenant, but once they are part of your cloud infrastructure as an external user, your security layer can still be applied on top of it. The next is B2C, business to consumer. Now, here Azure supports social logins or federation login from, let's say, Apple, Facebook, Google, GitHub, and many more, or even your on-prem local accounts. You can also customize your branding and security policies for a very personalized experience if you want. But remember, even when they are part of your organization, your security policies will still apply on top of it. Now let's talk about security. Well, you can actually enforce MFA, conditional access, and other measures to secure external accounts as well. So in short, please treat your B2B or B2C external or invited accounts as just your cloud users or UPNs, user principal name. Once they are invited and they become the part of your cloud infrastructure, you are actually free to apply all the security measures on top of it. That is the beauty of Entra ID, and they make it very simple to actually do that. Now let's move to the lab. Here in this lab, I will show you how easy it is to create users, how to delete users, how to create bulk user groups, and how to simply navigate through Azure Portal. So let's go to our lab. All right, so in this lab, we will see how to add a user in your Entra ID environment. So go to your Azure Portal, click on Entra ID. By the way, there are multiple ways to add a user. I will show you a few. If you go to Entra ID, you can just click on Add User right over here, or you can also invite external users, or you can click on Manage, click on Users, and then click on Add a User or Invite External Users. So I will click over here. Here you will create your UPN, user principal name, for this user. This is the most critical part. So I will just say NITA demo user 01. and I will keep the display name similar. Now, you can enter your own password or let Azure create an auto-generated password for you. In both cases, the user have to reset the password. So I will just do that. Click Next. Over here, you can add your user's metadata. And in some regards, this is actually important, not critical, not a compulsion, but important for future management. It will make your life easy, especially if you want to create separation or you want to search for a particular user. Then next, over here, you can assign this user to an admin group or admin unit, or you can also put this user or assign this user to a group. This group can be a distribution group, or it can also be a security group. Or if you want to assign a privilege to this user, you can also do it from here. So go ahead. I will just create this user. And here we go. This user is now created. Now, if you want to create, let's say, hundreds of users, you can also do that by bulk creation. But this is the simplest way to create a single user. So if I search for this user, here it is, NITA demo user 1. Now I will just delete it. So that was the easiest way to add a user. All right, let's check out how to add bulk users. So I'll go to Entra ID, click on Users. On top, you will see option called Bulk Operations. I will click on that. And then click on Bulk Create. Over here, you can actually upload your CSV if you already have it. Or if you want to download the new template, you can click over here, Download. And I will put it here. And it's downloaded. And then I will go to this CSV and edit it. So let me go to my downloads, open the CSV. And this is my CSV file. Remember, there are some variables which are actually important and you have to add it. It's a compulsion. And then there is some which is just metadata. It's not important to create a user, but it's recommended to add that. So the name, username or UPN, password, and do you want to enable this account or disable it? All this information is critical. You have to add it. As it mentions here, required. Before you do that, you have to remove the example and start adding your user. Let's say I said demo user 1, demo user 2. Now, you have to add the UPN, which will be the username and domain name. It should be the full qualified domain name. So I will just copy it, paste it here, again, drag it. And now I have to add the UPN here. In my case, it will be NetSoft IT Academy. So I will just put it there. Over here as well. The password, I'm going to keep it very simple. And I do not recommend this password. And do you want to block this user, means disable the account? Just say no. And that's it. Now you save the CSV file. I will save it in the same location, but I will change the name. Demo CSV. Remember to check the format. It should be CSV. And it is saved. I can close it now. Let's go back to users and bulk operations, bulk create, and upload that file. Here we go. Now, when you submit it, it will take some time. It depends how many users you have. And once this submission is done and the process is finished, you will see those users in your Entra ID. So I will give it maybe 10, 20 seconds more. All right, it's done. And now I will go back to my Entra. Let me refresh it. And here we go. We have both users here. So that is how you create bulk users. I will delete it now. All right, let's check out how to create a group in Azure Portal. So to do that, you will go to your portal, click on Entra ID. Then under Manage, you can click on Groups. Over here on top, you will click on New Group. Now you have two choices. Do you want to create a distribution group? So you will select that. That is your M365 group. And do you want to create a security group? Then you will select security. If you want to apply privileges, or if you want to actually connect multiple groups in the future to manage your organizational hierarchy, you have to create a security group. Then you will give your group a unique name. I'll call it Demo G1. Here you can put a description so that your colleagues or other admins can also see that why you are creating this group. Now, do you want to add a privilege to this group or not? You can also do that. So Microsoft Entra role can be assigned to this group. So if you say yes, then you can do it. If you say no, then you will not be able to assign it. Now, do you want to make someone else the owner of this group as well? You can add their UPNs over here, user principal name. Or do you want to put some users in this group? You can also do that. And then you click on Create. And the group will be created. Where to find that group? If you click on All Groups here, eventually you will see your new group which you created in this list. Mine is called Demo Group 1. So this is your group. What can you do with it? Well, you can check out the properties, you can add members, you can change the owner, you can add multiple owners if you want, you can assign privileges, you can also make it a part of an admin unit, you can change the group membership, you can also assign applications, licenses, and you can also change the role assignments. Now, I will delete this group. So to delete, you simply click on the group, then click on delete, and OK. The group will be gone. Remember, when you delete the group, the users are not deleted. They will just stay in your Entra ID flat. It's a flat structure, so they will remain there. But they will lose the association with this group. Let's check out how to create a dynamic group. So you will go to Entra ID, click on Groups, then click on New Group. Now, before I do this, I will show you first. So you just select your security group and give it a name. Let's say Demo Group 1. Again, the same name. And over here, you will change the membership type from assigned to dynamic user. The same thing can be done for the device as well. The whole premise of dynamic user is that according to your query, Azure will scan all the users. If the user meets your query, that user will be assigned to this group automatically for you. So it's security, demo group 1, dynamic user, and here I have to add the dynamic query. I will make it very simple. You can add multiple instructions if you want, but I'm just going to keep it one. So my property will be, let's say, department equals to, I'll say HR. Remember this, it will come in handy later. So the rule is department equals to HR. Okay. I will save it and I will create this group. Now let's go to that group. Demo G1. Let's click on members. As you can see, there is no member inside. So let's create a user where the department is equal to HR. So I will create a demo user. Same display name, auto-generated password is good enough. Over here, I have to make sure to change the variable. So there's a lot of variables here which you can change. This all just becomes a metadata of this user account. But I'm interested in this one, department, HR. Remember, you cannot write human resource completely here because in the query, I mentioned HR like this. It have to be exact. But if you have, let's say, multiple ways to write HR, let's say human resource or human resource department or HR in short form, then you can actually create multiple queries to expand your scope. So I'll keep it HR and create. I will go back to the group. And I will give it some time. It might take some time to scan all the users again. And here we go. That user is there automatically. But if you are not able to see the user, you can also try this trick. It's not even a trick. You're just forcing Azure to restart the scan. You can pause the processing of this group and then you can enable it again. So it will start the scan again and find all the users. And the demo user 1 is here. Let's say the demo user 1 properties are now changed. This user moved to a new department. So I'll go to edit properties. Job information is not HR, it's IT now. And save it. Let's go back to the group. And this user is still here. So please remember, Azure will not continuously scan all the users. There is actually a set frequency. But eventually this user will be kicked out. Or we can do this. Just wait for a while. And eventually this user will be gone. And the user is gone now. I actually paused the processing one more time. And that is how your dynamic groups work. Welcome back. I hope now you know how easy it is to create user identities on Entra ID and also make them a part of a group. Whether it is a manual creation or automated, it doesn't matter. But it is very user-friendly to create your infrastructure, especially for user principal names. Now, to sum up, I will say Azure Entra ID makes managing users and groups very much straightforward with tools like RBAC, MFA, conditional access, and then there are so many more tools. And using groups will actually simplify permission management as well. While external users features like B2B or B2C collaboration allow customers from a different organization to engage with your organization. Means it actually allows a very secure collaboration. Now, be sure to try out these features in the lab and when you actually practice on your own. Until next time, happy learning. I will see you in the next episode. Take care.